Hey y'all, today I am out at Covington's Nursery. That is out in the kind of Garland area by me, and yesterday on Facebook they posted photos of the new fall blooms that they got in, including some of those beautiful yellow honey colored supertunias. So I immediately called up to the nursery and had them go ahead and set aside 6 plants for me with those honey supertunias because I want to make sure I got those. But then the next day I came over, I'm here first thing in the morning as soon as they open to kind of go through and show you guys what they have for some fall color. Of course, I made a direct beeline over to these Proven Winter Super Bells, which is what they just got in. And I wanted to grab the fall colors while they had them. This particular one was called Dreamsicle. And if anybody's ever had a Dreamsicle in the past, like that orange vanilla flavored ice cream treat, I freaking love them. They're so good. I also really liked the plum color. I thought it was really pretty. I mean, basically, I think purple is a good fall color. Purples, oranges, ambers, some corals, things along those lines. I think tucking in a little bit of red, but this red had a little bit kind of like a magenta tone in it, a little too pinky for what I was looking for. I did have fun looking at all of these varieties because I had never seen a lot of these in person. And so y'all know how it is when you see things on TV, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and then you finally get to see them in person. It's really incredibly exciting. I loved those tropical sunrise. Look at the striations on there. Oh, so pretty. And these easy over are over easy. Almost like little eggs with the little yellow yolks in the center. So pretty, so sweet. Not necessarily the fall color that I was going for, but still really, really pretty. And all of these doubles over here. Look at this. This one was called a double amber. So pretty. And look at the little flowers. It's like they have another flower within them. I love the look of those. I thought those would be fabulous for fall as well. Each of these containers is $7.99, which is a little pricey, but it is Proven Winners. And these are the supertunias that I actually ended up picking up in a honey color. They have a little blush, almost peach tones to them as well. And these aren't mine, but the mine are set aside somewhere else. And I am glad that I went ahead and got them the day before because they were definitely selling out very quickly. And I was not the only one looking at these at the time. The Royal Velvet Purple, absolutely gorgeous as well. It looks so soft to the touch. So this area is actually the shade portion of Covington, so it's all covered. They don't have tons of inventory right now, but they are definitely starting to fill in as the cooler weather approaches. I was happy to see petunias just because I love petunias, y'all. They're just so, so pretty. They had them in a wide variety of colors. I definitely liked the dark purple tones and that magenta tone as well. I just think petunias are easy to grow and you get a lot of bang for your buck pretty quickly with them. Now over here are their seasonal annuals, and so I headed over here just walking past, grabbed myself a basket, and then now I'm headed right back over to all of those Proven Winners to pick up a few plants for myself. As I begin planning all of the containers I'm going to do for fall, I definitely thought some of these Super Bell Dreamsicles would be absolutely beautiful. I'd love to also try them in the ground, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that at this point. I also grabbed a couple of the double amber, and you guys, I really didn't even have to shift through all these plants because everyone I picked up was nice and full and beautiful. So I got 2 of each of those, which will be really great in some containers. And then I was looking over to the side, kind of trying to debate, do I want some of the orange? These are orange doubles over here. I don't know, they were a little bold, and I didn't love their color tone as much as I loved that dreamsicle orange, which was a little bit brighter. Check out this fountain. I want it so bad, but the price tag was not within my budget. But I did love these Persian shield over here. I actually really love growing these, and I forget that I love growing these. They're bold, beautiful purple, and they almost have like an iridescent quality to them. Very pretty. They're a tender perennial. Mine has never lasted through our winters here in 8A, zone 8A, but they still are gorgeous. And I did have fun looking at them. I ended up passing in the end. In the middle of the shade area, they have this cedar pergola, and they have it all decked out with beautiful plants for the fall. Now, what I loved about this look is these were not flowers. This was all foliage, which I thought was so fun and interesting. You know, you don't have to do all flowers, which I know y'all can't believe that I'm saying that actually out loud, but I thought that was just a beautiful, very cool look. Now, as I turn the corner, they definitely had mums already, which in my opinion, it's a little too early to be buying mums in my area. It's the end of August. These guys will not make it through the fall, but they were really fun to look at and begin anticipating. I will have a video coming out soon that is about when and how to buy mums. Just to help you guys out, because a lot of us are drawn to the mums that have all of the blooms already on them, and that is definitely not the direction you want to go. You want to be looking for a mum that is tightly budded, nothing opened, ready to go, and those are the mums that are going to give you the most bang for your buck and going to last you the longest. I really love that rust tone of that particular mum. Absolutely beautiful. It's fun to see them, but definitely too early to be buying them. I absolutely love heucheras or coral bells for fall color, and these were no exception. I had fun checking these out, checking out the varieties. Now, I did not pick any of these up because I actually have an order coming from Proven Winners Direct with 4 varieties of heucheras that I'll be showing you guys and talking to you about taking care of heucheras, where I'm planting them, what to expect. Heucheras, I just love them. I love the variety of color in each one. It's not just one flat color, right? You get almost like an ombre effect with most of these. This Georgia peach I've picked up at multiple nurseries, so I'm obviously very drawn to it. Its leaves start off like a really dark kind of magenta pinkish tone, and then they fade to oranges and corals, and then finally darken. Now, I do put this in my cart, but it definitely makes its way back out of my cart later as I remind myself that I already have a bunch of heucheras coming my way. I literally stopped in my path because as I was passing this one particular plant right here, which is a sweet autumn clematis, you could smell it. It smelled so amazing, and I was more drawn to the smell than I was to the actual plant. Absolutely beautiful. I loved it immediately. I ended up taking a couple of photos of this as well as a reminder to myself so that I can really kind of look at my space and think about where that might work. Now, surprisingly, I was actually drawn to all these caladiums, and since I was there, these are actually all 50% off at this point. They are $5 each, so if you want to go grab some, feel free. But this mesmerized heart-to-heart fancy caladium, I really thought was kind of interesting and unique. I thought it had a little bit of a Halloween kind of feel, but also fall. And when you can see when you put it with some of these colors over here, it really works because it takes on more of a coral orange tone as opposed to a traditional red tone that you typically see within caladiums. So if you spy any of those and they're on sale in your nursery, snag some of them. I think they would work beautifully in some of our fall containers. And as I was turning this corner, I was completely and utterly in awe of this gorgeous begonia right here. Absolutely beautiful, dark, moody, definitely is a fall tone, but also a Halloween tone. And I love decorating for Halloween. And I've always heard that you can try to overwinter begonias inside. So I thought that might be an interesting challenge. Now, it was $24.99 for a basket, which I thought was a phenomenal price for the size of this guy. I could not find a tag on the particular variety. So if any of y'all know what variety this is, please let me know. Okay, with the begonia safely in my basket, I left the shaded area and started heading out to the annuals, the seasonal annuals out here. I just love Covingtons because they have lots of containers preset so you can kind of see and get ideas and inspiration from them. I also enjoy the way there's room for your carts to get through so you don't feel overwhelmed or that you're going to knock everything over. They were definitely down on inventory, but that is not unusual for this time of the year or compared to all the heat that we've had, which has been pretty ridiculous, but love scanning this. You can see they have another pergola set up outside filled with hanging baskets and lots of beautiful things. And of course, I had to walk right over to this ornamental grass right here. I believe it's actually a perennial in my area. It's called First Night Fountain Grass. And I believe it gets like 6 to 8 feet tall, y'all. Like this guy's like a monster. Really loved it, thought it was cool, but then also realizing I have no idea where I would put that. It is so big, but very cool as well. Check out that Rebecca. I mean, it's the size of my hand. Guys, I have big hands. Like I don't have little petite tiny hands. Also loved coming over here to this Dusty Miller. I'm always a fan of Dusty Miller just because it adds some really great color and texture throughout the entire winter as it is evergreen during the winter. Look at these ornamental peppers. I mean, they're so dark, they're almost black. Absolutely beautiful. A whole set of them. I wanted to pick up the entire thing. They're the little buds before they turn into the peppers. Absolutely beautiful. Here's the variety over here. Black pearl. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Love those. Thought those were great. And I love that they had the smaller containers instead of having to buy the biggest containers. Of course, I'm always drawn to this cigar plant over here. It is a big time pollinator. It's a vermillionaire, Coffea hybrid, and I always call them cigar plants because the flowers look like little bitty cigars. I like these Ganzia blooms, but I actually thought the green, the foliage was not in the best condition. And so I wasn't like super into it. Ganzia New Day Clear Orange, really pretty. The blooms were pretty. The foliage was kind of meh on them. I did make sure I took stock of what size they're going to grow to, but I thought they were interesting as well. Over here, I started running into all the ornamental peppers, and I love ornamental peppers in my fall designs in my containers. I just think they're so fun and unusual. Check out that. It's like purples and reds and berry tones. Oh, look at these tiny little petite ones as well. Oh, there are so many beautiful ones. I was distracted for a moment by this fireworks fountain grass, which I thought was pretty fabulous as well. As y'all know, I've been obsessing over ornamental grasses lately, and I do have several I've picked up that we will be installing in the garden very soon. More ornamental peppers over here. I like the ones that have like the multiple colors, the oranges, the reds, the purples, I think are absolutely beautiful as well. They had tons of the ornamental grass. Here's your traditional purple fountain grass right here. It is an annual in my area. As a reminder, my area is zone 8A. And then over here, you have some of the graceful grasses, Skyrocket. And the skyrocket is actually an annual in this area. It's only perennial in like zone 9 to 11, but still very, very pretty. Love the look of it. Love the texture of things like that. Of course, Lantana is always a good go-to for some fall plants, but obviously as soon as you get a little nip of cold, it's going to die back pretty quickly. That is just the nature of Lantana, but I really do love it. Love this Salvia right here. It is the deep purple, and that would be really, really pretty because that's also a perennial. Now, sometimes people say that this is not a perennial in our area, right? I'm zone 8A, but I'll have you know that all the salvias from proven winners that I've planted have all come back over time. Now, I thought this sweet potato vine that's called Sweet Caroline Bewitched After Midnight, so Halloween and fall sounding. This was perfect. I ended up picking up a couple of these to go in some plants. Look at the color variations in all of those leaves, not just the all flat purple, but definitely like a wide variety of tones. So definitely picked up a couple of these to add to my collection for basically fall containers. As you can see, my cart is definitely getting full at this point. I decided to stop over here and check out some more of the peppers. Couldn't make a decision if I wanted to add some or not. I kept picking them up, I kept looking at them and then kind of being like, do I want it? Do I not want it? I always do ornamental peppers, so I decided to put it back and force myself to go a different direction on fall containers this way in order to kind of show you guys some different options at this point. But definitely spent some time looking at my basket, looking at the colors, looking at the ranges, and trying to make some decisions about what could be added and what other texture was needed to create some interesting fall containers. Now, I do not pre-plan my fall containers. I typically just buy several options and then go home and play with them in each particular container. That's what works best for me, but if you want to plan yours out, that's not a problem either. So now I am over here walking into the perennial section of Covington's. This is all a section that's up front, the perennials, the shade, the annuals. There's a whole nother section through the parking lot that's all their shrubs, trees, things along those lines. I love some heated up Gaillardia. I usually grow yellow, but maybe next year I'll push myself to grow the red. If you want a phenomenal annual that is just gonna be like, wow, go for it. Now this says that it is a perennial in my zone, zone 8A, but it has never come back for me. So just so that you know that and you're aware of that, it has not come back for me in this particular zone, and I have tried twice with that. Of course, I had to come check out this Rebecca. It screams fall, right? I mean, just so pretty. I'm going to be growing a lot of it from seed next year. I kept reaching to pick this one up and then kept holding back. I just don't think there's enough time for a bunch of blooms to come on it. And these were already pretty much bloomed out, so I decided to pass on them. And I spotted some sedum right there to the left. As I went past, I will come back to it in just a moment, just walking through, seeing if there's anything that catches my eye that would go, you know, with some fall tones. I love all their pottery here at Covington's. It is atrociously expensive, so I've never bought any kind of containers here. They are crazy expensive. I did want to show you guys a couple of their containers because I love this about Covington's. This is a shade container that they've put together. You can see the oxalis, the coleus, these beautiful kind of banana palms coming out, or elephant ears. I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with that particular tropical, but I am very drawn to the containers that they create because they give you so much inspiration, and literally the plants are right there. So you just pick them up and you recreate it on your own at your own house. also really like this container because it played with purples and corals, which I thought was really different. So look at these coral zinnias tucked in here. Very fun. It's got some of the sweet potato vines in there and then a beautiful central purple fountain grass in the middle. I thought that's kind of an unusual color scheme, and I really kind of loved the look of that as well. So I wanted to give you guys one last scan of the front portion of Covington's. This is the annuals, the perennials, the shade area, and then also has their gift shop with all of their houseplants as well. So this is the front area, but you can go through the massive parking lot, and at the back they have the shrubs and trees section, which I did not look at today. Okay, so obviously I did not take y'all through the entire nursery. I'm on a schedule today, but I did just walk y'all through some areas that had some fall colors, just kind of give you an idea of what they currently have. I talked to one of the managers, and it's going to be about 2 more weeks, and they're going to have tons and tons and tons of fall color, which will be amazing. Typically right after Labor Day, they have a ton coming up. So I'm really excited. It was fun to go around and see a few things. Really happy that I was able to jump on the Super Tunia honey. Now these aren't the really big, massive plants, so keep that in mind. It's not like a Vista or a mini Vista or anything along those lines, but still, it will grow a really good size. I'm really excited in adding that color into the landscape. And I picked up a few other goodies that I'm going to be showing you guys in the next video with a plant haul. So as always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.